Okay, so we're continuing on with 6-2 notes for algebra. All lined up there. And here we have our second example. So if the point is not exact or is not clear, you can use your calculator to find the intersection. So obviously in this first example, those points of intersection were very clear and were easy to identify. Not so much in this next one. Excuse me. So solve the system using the calculator. I'll very rarely ask you or force you to use the calculator, but I still need you to know how to do it because it's a very useful tool. So intersection with the calculator, we're going to go through all the steps right here. So first step, plug both equations into y equals. You're going to plug 1 into y1, and then you'll plug another one into y2. In order to do that, you need to first make sure that your lines are both in y equals form, meaning you have to solve for y. Our first equation is already in that form, but the second one is not. So I'm just going to take a second and get it to be that way. So you can already tell that my y-intercepts are not going to be nice numbers. Negative 24.5 divided by 7, negative 3.5, which isn't awful, but still, it's going to be hard to go up to and over 7 starting from 3.5 and from 1.4. So once you have both equations solved for y, you're going to plug them both into y equals. So coming to y equals, clearing this out, plugging in fractions in parentheses, negative 5/9 x plus 1.4, and then arrow down to y2 and plug in your second equation there. 2/7 x minus 3.5. Okay, afterwards, step 2 is you are going to go ahead and hit the graph button. And after hitting the graph button, you will be able to see a nice visual of your graphs, of your pictures, of your equations. So we have to find that intersection point. So next on our list, we're going to hit the second button, and then we're going to hit the trace button. So second and trace is next. So second, and then the trace button to get to the calculate option. We want that calculate option. Looking at our calculate choices, we want to find the intersect. We want to find the solution. So we're looking for choice 5, intersection. So I'm just going to jot that down real quick. Choice 5, intersection. And notice Mr. Blinky pops up. You should be relatively familiar with Mr. Blinky. Mr. Blinky is asking you if you are on the first curve or the first graph or the first picture. And I'm just moving Mr. Blinky a little bit closer to that point of intersection. It does not have to be on it. It just has to be on the first curve. Mine is on the blue line, so I'm hitting enter. Second curve. Did Mr. Blinky move to the second curve? Yes, it did. Hit enter again. Guess. Yes, you want it to guess. Boom, it found that intersection point for me. So I'm just going to jot down some more of these steps. So choice 5, intersection. So then it asks you first curve, second curve. You're going to move Mr. Blinky. Hit enter. And then I guess I am going to add a 6th step. That 6th step is when it asks you if you want it to guess. And you do, so you're going to hit enter. Boom. Okay, so then looking at my point of intersection, clearly you can tell there's no chance that I was going to be able to accurately guess 5.8245, and negative 1.83549. So my directions tell me to round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So x equals 5.824, and y equals negative 1.835. So then, writing those as a coordinate point, remember my answer still needs to be written as a coordinate point, and I'm going to round to the nearest tenth as well. So x comes first. Actually, let's put this up here. So x is 5.8, comma, negative 1.8. That is my solution, or my point of intersection, where these two graphs cross each other, or where they have equal values.